Thank you very much. A pleasant morning and afternoon to all of you. It's a very interesting, very motivational conversation. Thanks, UBI, for organizing such a fantastic audience, closed-door audience, to kind of look into the future. Thanks, Tala, for the invitation on behalf of District 2020. I would like to kind of take this opportunity and delve a little bit more on corporate startup engagement. I've been in the UAE for 19 years and have seen the sand to skyrocketing, and really want to understand how corporate journeys have transformed the skyline of Dubai. And with that transformation comes a lot of responsibility. So I would like to invite the co-panelists here for today, Mr. Salah Makuk. Mr. Salah, please.
Mask.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And may I also request Mr. Afzal from Siemens? Thanks a lot. Yeah, please. Thank you. Thank you. So let's get started. Very, very interesting conversation. Mr. Salah started showing the journey of the transformation of Dubai. We also saw Tala, presenting Siemens as a core partner moving into District 2020. All of these large corporations are seeing some value to kind of moving here. Innovation and commercialization has been at the core of heart of Dubai. They mastered the art of innovation at a very, very early stage. And this is why when we just celebrated the 50 years of the nation's united effort to be one as a country, it also gave the opportunity to kind of really celebrate the vision, the visionaries who have made this country happen. So some of the corporations backing the vision to become a reality is what we're gonna discuss today. And let me get into the conversation with you, Salah. Emirates has been in the aviation space. I look at Emirates more as a lifestyle company, bringing really innovative products and transforming your lifestyle. Can you, if you can share a little bit of information on how that innovation infrastructure within Emirates has evolved, and what are the methods Emirates uses to engage with startups?
Sure, Samir. Thank you, first of all. Again, welcome, everybody. And I think from Emirates' perspective, the whole journey started in late 2015. And I think it was Emirates' 30th year anniversary, right? And I remember it as if it's happening today. And again, on that day, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has said the next 30 years for Emirates are all rooted in innovation. And again, he continues, says, we're not building the largest airport in the world, we're building the aviation capital of the world. And in our innovation context, we took that vision to heart, as they say, right? A year after, we have launched Intilaq, right? And that was 2016.
Yeah.
And Intilaq for us is today multifaceted. So we've got programs throughout the entire startup journey, right? So ideation, we've got a capacity development program that focuses on inspiring people, getting their ideas flowing. From there, we've got an incubator program, right? Nurturing early stage startups. And the whole proposition is we connect you with us, with our partners, and connect you with people that are in the industry, experts, right? And our third phase, our third stage is for late stage startups, and that's through our accelerator program. And that's all about scaling, right? And on top of that, we work on Moonshots, which is the Aviation X Lab. So if you look at all the different programs, we made sure we don't miss any step in any startup's growth journey.
Sure.
And that has been our program so far.
Brilliant. So you have right from pre-stage to growth. You're covering every aspect. And I want to come back on the impact side a little bit later.
Sure.
Afzal, over to you. Siemens has been the core part and partner of the UAE for a long period of time. From a global perspective, how does Siemens engage with startups? And if you can tell a little bit story about and some examples about how Siemens is currently engaging with startups, and what is their future vision when they kind of move their global headquarters to Dubai?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Samir. Hi, Salah. Good to meet you here.
Pleasure.
If you look at Siemens, has been in this industry for more than 170 plus years. We have been innovating in different sectors. Briefly about the startup itself, I want to touch on a few topics. Siemens has got multiple programs to co-innovate, drive the growth, drive the innovation. Internally within Siemens, we have a core group for innovation called Core Technology Research Team, which is focusing on AI, cybersecurity, edge technology, autonomous transportation, edge analytics, blockchain, and a lot more. While we focus internally to innovate every day to help our business in different segments, we also reach out to startups where we are bringing the power of co-innovation. In 2016, Siemens has formed a venture capitalist arm called Next 47. What it does is it scouts, it looks for the startups. We are talking about talent which is full of energy and innovation, guide them. We are actually joining them as a lead invest kind of a thing. We groom them, we nurture them, and we also help them to create the business models, make it market ready, mentor them, and make them successful.
Brilliant.
So if startups in the room are live, you have to look out for Next 47, I would say, which is actually a venture capitalist arm of Siemens, where we invest in startups. The program, what I'm running here right now in Expo itself, which is actually creating a lot of buzz, every month we do a hack. Right?
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Kindly note, the audience should note. So
we run a, we call Mindsphere Future World Series. Mindsphere is an IoT platform from Siemens.
Yeah.
And we are running a hack every month. If you look at, we have already successfully done 2 hacks. One was smart building hack, where we invited the startups from global, I would say, arena, where startups came from different parts of the world. Challenges were given to them to find a solution, and amazing results. I couldn't think. I'm from a corporate world, but you can see the startups, the aggression, the passion, and the innovation they bring in without any boundaries and baggage they carry. It's amazing. I would say for the smart buildings hack, within 4 days, all the startups were able to develop IoT applications where we can put in the marketplace.
So you're crunching the innovation to kind of, really in a short period of time to also help commercialize within the Siemens corporation. So what is the, bigger impact, if I may start with you, Salah,
Sure.
I want to combine 2 questions into one. One is impact in, what you're creating for the startups, and some of your programs are equity free, right? Including Interlock and things like that. What is the impact and how do you measure it? And what are some of the long-term goals, some of the goals you've displayed already in your presentation, but really I want to understand from you, engaging with startups, creating impact, how does Emirates view all of this? And
Sure, good question. I think for us, all the programs that we do, we definitely always have 2 sets of goals. So we have goals on a national level, right? And for a national level, we started this journey to create the startup vertical for travel, aviation, and tourism, right? That vertical didn't exist, right? And for us at the national level, we want to establish that, make sure we're always leading, right? At the national level, we want to attract startups to come to Dubai, right? Startups in our industry.
So that's an important goal. That
100%.
And you have certain key numbers where X number of startups you want to attract and come to Dubai. Okay,
Definitely.
bring them to Dubai.
100%. And along with that, Samir, an important thing is also to attract talent, right? And I think everyone Tala highlighted in her presentation how talent is a super important element of the innovation ecosystem,
Sure.
right? And that again is top of mind. So talent, attracting startups here, establishing the sector, that's on a national level, I would say. Again, the fourth one on national level is we want to make sure we're engaging with the youth UAE national talent, right? We want to make sure they're part of the conversation in travel, aviation, and tourism, right? So these would be our, let's say, country level objectives.
Okay.
Now, as Emirates, our objectives are quite simple. One, inspire us, right? We work at that early stage, right? At the idea stage, at the early stage, right? And we want to see what's out there. We want to view that 5-year horizon, view that vision, interact with these amazing, incredible, smart people, bright minds that are all over the place.
So,
right?
so do you see an opportunity of venture building, working with these early stage founders to kind of?
Yeah, I'll come to that. So that's on an early stage, right?
Okay.
And then for the late stage or mature stage, that's when we work on the accelerator. And the accelerator, straightforward. Every year we issue challenges that are very specific, either an opportunity or a problem to solve, right? And obviously we work at late stage because given the size of our operation, we want to make sure a startup is well funded, well set up, good team, and all that stuff, right? And that's from an Interlock perspective. Again, national level, same goals for the Aviation X Lab. From an impact perspective, being in Area 2071, the whole vision was how could we impact global industries, right? And that's when the X Lab came into the picture.
And also the global challenges.
100%. You see the moonshots, right? We call them moonshots.
Yeah.
And the whole emphasis is that impacting at that scale of 1 billion people. That was the thesis, right? And you saw carbon negativity was our first moonshot, right?
Yeah. I want to switch to Afzal quickly.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you. On the sustainability, I want to talk about impact. Siemens is creating impact on the environment. Do you think that startups, the way you scout and the frameworks you have for scouting, how important is sustainability and compliance to sustainable development goals is a part of your scouting exercise?
Siemens runs a program called 1.5 Degree. We want to actually contribute to this. We are focusing because Siemens has its own footprint in different parts of the world. We operate in different countries as an enterprise. We have factories, more than, I would say, a few hundred factories globally. We have a program, we are already focusing on having a carbon neutral by 2030 in our operations. So that's what the sustainability is key thing. We don't actually preach, we practice in-house and bring the technology to the market. So if you look at be it the energy generation, distribution, green hydrogen project, we have done actually together with Expo, DIVA, and Siemens here to show that clean energy can be actually generated and stored and managed. And if you look at the startups itself, there are a lot of solutions which we are focusing on sustainability. How do we reduce the carbon emissions? How do we actually bring the operational efficiency, right?
And do you measure these impacts? Are these part of your goals at Siemens when you work with these startups? Is there a way to measure this impact?
Yes, we have a sustainability program globally in Siemens, and you can see we are rated #1 in Dow Jones for Sustainability Index because we are reporting all of these, I would say, initiatives within Siemens. And these initiatives are not only within Siemens, we also partner with corporates and governments. It's like a business to government kind of a thing where we are actually bringing business to society to improve the sustainability and I would say, make sure that the Mother Earth, is sustainable. We can leave this for the next generation in a better shape.
And some of the challenges, before we kind of have about 4.5 minutes left, some of the challenges you've faced working with very early stage or startups, specifically in our region, Afzal, I want to kind of throw it back to you, in terms of the perception of working with a corporate, working with a startup. What's your experience been?
See, the good part of startups is, they don't have any baggage. They come with fresh ideas and all of it. But again, it's not only the funding what they need. They need a lot of grooming. You need to, make them successful in this space. Meaning, if you look at 9 out of 10 startups actually fail first year itself.
Yes, that's a global statistic.
No, this is what it is, right? So how do we actually make the success part? So what we're talking about is not the funding part. It's also giving them the access to the business, global enterprise business. nurturing them, making sure that we work on the business model. A lot of effort, what happens is the business model, go to market, and ramping up and
And you have
scaling.
an internal process to kind of
We have tools and
completely
process.
work them through a process of engagement. Like Salah mentioned about Area 2071 and Dubai Future Accelerator, they sign these MOUs and kind of really those are very structured for that startup to engage with a corporate.
Yes.
So do you have similar
We have something called partner managers who actually do the onboarding.
partner managers?
Partner managers,
Okay.
right? What they do is they actually onboard the startups.
Okay.
They groom them, they nurture them, and if in case they need cross-domain vertical, they bring the experts to help them out. Because what is important is when the startup starts a journey, they have a certain vision. But the moment you go and solve the real-world problems, technology with purpose, you need broader perspective.
Yeah.
And this is where Siemens can actually help,
Got it.
and we are doing that.
Salah, you know, your video talked about a lot of technology with Aviation X Lab and, the walk-through tunnel where, Face ID and, all of this works very seamlessly. Some of the startups, and I worked with some of the startups trying to kind of trying to kind of fix them into the Emirates infrastructure. A lot of these things like security, technology validation takes longer. It sometimes happens in 6 months or maybe happen in 2 years. From an Emirates perspective and from a startup, how do you manage these challenges and how do you set expectations with the startup that, yes, we are open for innovation, but also, these are the challenges which will come your way?
No, for sure, Samir. And I think, by the way, the tunnel is live. You could walk through it today in Dubai Airport, just to make sure. So I think, Samir, your question is a super good one. And I think it depends on what area you're innovating in,
Sure.
right? If you are in something that touches security, cybersecurity, physical, virtual, right? That will definitely take longer, right? If you're something that touches the airplane, the aviation, right? Like there's tests, procedures, etc. that everyone needs to go through, right? Not just startups. And these, yes, will have a longer time period. But in a lot of instances, if you're into earlier things, like the customer journey, like things about service, making the products better, etc. These are very quick,
Sure.
right? And we've got amazing success stories. Early in our cohorts, we got Dubs. I don't know if you remember
Dubs, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Dubs,
That's a very innovative service.
100%.
Yeah.
And it was a baggage delivery service
Yes.
that we acquired,
Yes.
right? Straight our first cohort. And it's now integrated. We provide that service across the UAE, right? Danata did the acquisition back then. Another one is Nanoski. I was just mentioning it in the X Lab. We launched the challenge in March, right?
Yeah.
Mid-COVID. They were in Dubai testing in the airport in I think not more than 60 days, right? And then now we're trying to scale them. So there's a lot of things that happen quicker, right?
Right.
But obviously you're in a highly regulated space.
So you set up the right communication protocol so the startup knows that, to work with a corporate, these are the methods to follow. All those communication protocols need to be set up because startups are very agile, while a corporate is like, they really need to figure out the process.
You need to bridge the gap.
Any final closing remarks in terms of your programs or, one sentence each on Afzal?
I would say we are looking forward to collaborate with any forward-thinking, I would say, deep technology space, startups, more than happy to collaborate, right? So stay tuned and also look at the Minds Your Future World series, which we're running every month here. So next 3 hacks are there for mobility, industry, and water. So if you can join that, happy to be part of it.
Brilliant. Salah?
Sure. I mean, from my side, I think maybe 3 remarks if I have the time. So the first one is I think it's all about partnerships. It's all about collaboration, right? You saw all our programs.
Sure.
We never try to do something alone. We always bring on board the best partners, right?
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone here to seek us out, collaborate. We're so open to it. Everyone hinted to that. So that's my first remark. Second remark is we're always building our network of partners. And for all those incubators, accelerators, the UBI ecosystem out there, please do reach out. We're looking forward to connect with you. A third and final one is we've got, again, as I said, cycle 2 of the Aviation X Lab launched. So please check it out, apply. Again, check out Intilock and all the programs that we run. And thank you very much again.
Sure. Thank you, Salah, and thank you, UBI, and thank you, Tala, for the invitation. If you'd like to kind of consider joining a Pre-Seed Accelerator Founder Institute, I just wanted to have my plug as well to end the session today. So go to fi.co/UAE. We've a portfolio of 23 startups in the last 1 year. We've launched right in the midst of the pandemic, and we're live and kicking. So feel free to join us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Cheers.